Good morning. I can't think of a more beautiful way to usher in the inaugural edition of the Bengaluru Poetry Festival. Bindu Malini, thank you so much. And welcome all of you to the inaugural edition of the Bengaluru Poetry Festival. My name is Subodh, and I am one of the organizers of the festival. And it gives me great pleasure to see so many of you supporting the festival and so many of our guests who have so kindly consented to participate in this festival. And so we'll start the festival officially with the lighting of the lamp. And we have two very, very special people. So before I move on, my wife and I run a bookstore and an event space called Atta Galata in Koromangala. And 4 years ago, when we started Atta Galata as a small space, Jayant Kaikini sir and Volga madam were kind enough to come and inaugurate our bookstore for us, and it must be their blessings and the good wishes that they've left behind that we've grown over the last 4 years, and we've come to a stage where we're able to do something like this Bengaluru Poetry Festival. So it takes me great pleasure to invite Volga madam, Jayant Kaikini sir, I also want to invite my mother on stage so that she can help us light the lamp. And Mrs. Bhavani Tyagarajan. And Shiny Anthony, the festival director. Kriti? Madam. Thank you so much. The Bengaluru Poetry Festival now officially starts with the reading by our two chief guests, Jayant Kaikini sir and Volga madam.
Good morning, everybody. It's my pleasure to be here with you all in this Bangalore Poetry Festival. And Lakshmi and Subodh, as they told, we came, Jayant Kaikini, and we are friends since 1995, Jayant Kaikini and myself. We both came to inaugurate Atta Galata 4 years back, and now to see it grew with so many activities, so much joy, so much art and poetry. I'm really happy, and I wish all the best Farata Galaja, Lakshmi, Subodh and their friends and well-wishers. This is a very happy occasion, and poetry is like joy and also some melancholic and also consciousness and subconsciousness, all things woven together. And as I am starting this poetry reading session, I will start first with a poem when I fell in love with poetry. That poem, first I read in Telugu. అద్వైతం. ఆనందాన్ని గురించి రాయలేను, ఆనందంగా ఉందో లేదో మాత్రం చెప్పగలను. ఆనందాన్ని గురించి రాయలేను, ఆనందంగా ఉందో లేదో మాత్రం చెప్పగలను. తనువు వెన్నెలై వెన్నపూసై పూల పరాగమై చివరికి హరివిల్లయింది. తనువు వెన్నెలై వెన్నపూసై పూల పరాగమై చివరికి హరివిల్లయింది. పావురాయి రెక్కల తేలికగా స్వేచ్ఛగా ఎగురుతూ నిరంతర చలనంతో ముద్రలు వేస్తూ ఆనకట్టలన్నీ బద్దలు కొట్టి బహిరంతర ప్రవాహాలను దూకిస్తూ ఆనంద తాండవం చేయిస్తూ, నా శరీరం చుట్టూ ప్రపంచం లేదు, నా శరీరం చుట్టూ ప్రపంచం లేదు, నా శరీరంతో నేను ప్రపంచం లోపలికి చొచ్చుకుపోతున్నాను. ఈ అనుభూతి అద్భుతంగా ఉంది, ఈ అనుభూతి అద్భుతంగా ఉంది. మళ్ళీ మళ్ళీ ప్రేమలో పడ్డట్టుంది, తొలిసారి బిడ్డను కన్నట్టుంది. దట్ ఈస్ ద తెలుగు వర్షన్. వెన్ someone writes a poem or someone read or hear a good poetry, we heard Bindu Malini singing and mixing music and poetry. That is the feeling of Advaita we all experience. In English, the same poem I am reading, Advaita. I cannot write of joy. I cannot write of joy. I can only speak of the joy I feel. My body brightening to a moonbeam, softening into a dab of butter, rising into a fragrance of flowers, arching into a rainbow, flying light and free as feather, flying light and free as a feather, carving out impressions in a continuous flow of movement. Springs within and without, bursting all dams. Springs within and without, bursting all dams, dancing in fringed joy. There is no world outside my body. There is no world outside my body. My body swells and is the world. Wondrous feeling as if I were falling in love again and again, and a first birthing. That is. And I think I can read another. Lakshmi? I'm not taking much of your time. This is a poem about farmer's wife. This poem in English translation was prescribed for the intermediate students in Karnataka state. So I'm receiving so many phone calls from the lecturers and students. Some have arranged conference calls also to talk with me about this poem and interact with the students. So this poem bridge myself with the Karnataka students and teachers. So I want to share that poem. This poem is not very happy poem, but with a poem with a spirit. with good spirit, fighting spirit. You all heard of farmers' suicides in every state, almost every state. And this was written in 2001 or 2, when many farmers were dying. Everybody is writing about farmers who are dying, and I wrote about farmer's wife who has to carry the burden of his family. The farmer's wife, her dialogue with the husband. You are virtuous and you are gone. You are virtuous and you are gone. Poor sinner that I am remain. Before your creditors, unable to bend your head, or stretch out of your hand, or sell your crops, you crossed over. But I was born with a head bent. I was born with a head bent, a hand outstretched, not unused to being sold. Knowing all this, did you leave me? Knowing all this, did you leave me? You found release with poison. You found release with poison, poisoning my bitter existence. The cotton crop is but yesterday's. The cotton crop is but yesterday's. But our family? How often I have drowned in it. How many times have I escaped death? Whether you abused or reviled me, kicked me when you were drunk, I thought, he is but a man. I thought he is but a man. Little did I dream you would deal me a death blow like this. Little did I dream you would deal me a death blow like this. True, the crop was gone. The debt remained. The dignity hit the dust. Our hearts turned to water. But how did you imagine my back would bear the burden of 4 children? You saw your crop destroyed. What of the harvest of my womb? Can I leave them to the wind like worm-eaten cotton pods? Can I leave the children to the wind like the worm-eaten cotton pods? It takes a moment to die, but to open our mouth and ask, what of this? Why is this? Needs a firm heart. It takes a moment to die, but to open our mouth and ask, what of this? Why is this? Needs a firm heart. To teach my children to clench a fist not merely for a handful of rice, but in battle I must live. I must live. I must embrace life, not death. Embrace life and the struggle for life. That is the poem, Farmer's Wife. And with a Telugu poem, I will just this is about childhood and the nights of childhood. చిన్ననాటి రాత్రులు. కలల కథల సంపదతో కోతకొచ్చిన పంట చేనులా ఒరిగిపోయిన రాత్రులు. కలల కథల సంపదతో కోతకొచ్చిన పంట చేనులా ఒదిగిపోయిన రాత్రులు. నులక మంచం మీద పరచిన నాన్నమ్మ మెత్తని పంచెల సువాసనల్లో తెల్లారితే స్నేహితులకు పంచాల్సిన ముచ్చటైన ముచ్చట్ల మల్లెల మాలల అల్లిక. ఆ తరువాత నక్షత్ర కిరీటధారినై చందమామ తేరుపై గగన విహార విలాసం. నాన్నమ్మ కమ్మని కథలలో రాజకుమారిని నేనే, రాక్షసరాజుని నేనే, రాకుమారుణ్ణి నేనే. మంచి చెడుల పురాతన యుద్ధానికి నా లేత మనసే రంగస్థలం. మంచి చెడుల పురాతన యుద్ధానికి నా లేత మనసే రంగస్థలం. విజయం కైవసమైన మగత నిదరల చిరుదరహాసంలో ప్రతి రాత్రి ఒక స్వప్న గుచ్ఛం. వర్షపు రాత్రి అందరూ నిద్రపోయాక కిటికీ మెల్లిగా తెరిస్తే ముఖమంతా చల్లగా నిమిరి గుసగుసలాడే చినుకుల నేస్తాలు. వేసవిలో వెన్నెల మైదానంలో విచ్చలవిడి క్రీడాభిరామం. నన్నొదలని చలి సావాసం నుండి విడదీయాలని మరింత హత్తుకునే అమ్మమ్మ విఫల యత్నం. ప్రతి రాత్రి ఒక అద్భుతం, వడలెరుగని నిద్రా వైభోగం. ప్రతి రాత్రి ఒక అద్భుతం, వడలెరుగని నిద్రా వైభోగం. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ గివింగ్ మీ ద టైమ్ టు ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ మై సెల్ఫ్ both in my mother tongue and in English. Thank you very much.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. 4 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ನಾನು ಮತ್ತು ಓಲ್ಗಾ ಜಿಯವರು we inaugurated this entire journey of ಆಟ ಗಲಾಟ. ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾತಾಡೋನು, ಬಟ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲೂ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನೂ ತಲುಪಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ನಾನು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆನೇ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಟೀಚರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ರು ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು, ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದು ಯಾವ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿಯವ್ರ ಹೋರಾಟಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಿಗೆ ಎದುರು ಓಡೋದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ in my own way. It was really humbling to be part of the inaugural session 4 years ago in Aata Galata, that library. It was a nice ambience. And the way it's really heartening to see Aata Galata growing to this stature, where adding new layers of human interest, art, and understanding man. See, I'm not reading poem today because I thought so many new poets are here, youngsters are there. I met so many of them. I will reflect a bit about what I think is poetry and what I have learnt in my journey. Not that I can preach, but I feel it's right. Bannanjay Govindacharya is a scholar in Kannada. I had once asked him, what is poetry? Poetry andre enu? It's very difficult to answer that question. Poetry andre ಏನು ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. You can tell what is not poetry, but what is poetry, it's very difficult to tell. He said, ಹೇಳುವುದರ ಮೂಲಕ ಹೇಳಲು ಆಗದ್ದನ್ನು ಧ್ವನಿಸುವುದೇ ಕಾವ್ಯ. Means you will evoke things which cannot be expressed through things which can be expressed. Dhvani means you tell something which is easy to express, but that will evoke something which cannot be expressed. That is the essence of poetry. That is dhvani. That is evocative, So it can happen through images, so many things. See, like A.K. Ramanujan writes a line, ಮೈ ಉರಿಯುವ ಕೋಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಂದೆ, ಹೊರಗೆ ಕೆಂಡ ಸಂಪಿಗೆ ಮರ ಹೂ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಂತಿತ್ತು. I came with a burning kopa, what is that, anger, and suddenly I saw a champak flower, that is called as kenda sampige in Kannada, champak flower tree blooming. See, kenda sampige means kenda is again a coal, burning coal. See, ಮೈ ಉರಿಯುವ ಕೋಪ, the champak tree, the burning coal. See, that entire thing gives us an experience before we understand it. And that is the essence of poetry. And poetry is nothing but, like my favorite writer Yashwant Chittal, he always said, when people, when press reporters ask them, they have a regular question, why do you write? So, of course, it has to be asked. Then he said, I don't write what I know. I write to know, he said. I write to know. See, writing is a mode of knowing. Writing is a mode of understanding life and sharing it. That is the one thing which I liked, which I always quote. Another thing he said was, we are not born human, we are born to be human, he said. ನಾವು ಮನುಷ್ಯರಾಗಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಮನುಷ್ಯರಾಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇವೆ. And that process, that evolving process, undertakes by various pathways. Poetry is one of them, music is one of them, spiritualism is one of them, silence is one of them. So it's way to understand, a kind of understanding our life journey with finer details. The moment we say, I know everything, we have lost it. That's what I have experienced. I have learned from my pursuit, I am telling. Moment I am in a privileged position, I have lost it. ಎರಡು ಹೊತ್ತಿನ ಊಟ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಇದೆ, ಸಂಡೇ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಇದೆ, ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಕಲ್ಚರು ಧರ್ಮ ಕಾವ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಬ್ರಿಂಕ್, ಒಂದು ಅಂಚಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಚಡಪಡಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೆರಳು ಮತ್ತು ಬೆಳಕು ಎರಡೂ ಮಿಶ್ರವಾದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಟ್ವಿಲೈಟ್ ಝೋನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯುವಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ ಇದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಮೇಜಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ಡ್, ಮೆಟಫರ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ಡ್, daringly changed. Recently, a few years ago, I was my father was in a hospital. I was with him, taking care of him. One of my father's student was, he was interested in growing orchids. So my father didn't know what orchid is. I mean, my father was from Gokarna. We are from Gokarna. Orchids don't grow there. So we are in a Manipal hospital where the student came with a orchid flower. So my father was amused. Nice it is. Then it was kept in a glass of water. You must believe, I am not doing any exaggeration. Whoever doctor came there, whoever patient's relatives came there, everybody looked at that flower and said, "Eshtu chennagide ee hoovu, plastic hoovu iddagide." They said, "It's such a beautiful flower, it's just like a plastic flower." See, this topsy-turvy, the things have become ulta. When I remember now, when I was in Bombay for 24 years, in those days, in 70s, hotels had Maharashtrian hotels had a board that said, "Hya hotels a malik pan ithesh javto." Andre, owner of this, manager of this hotel also eats here only. See, that was the thing. I mean, but now you see, if something nice happens at home, hey, hotel ka jaisa ho gaya na, bahut acha. See, things have changed. See, whatever we thought is a sustaining image, recurring motive, all those things have gone because life is going so fast. You know what is the haunting image to me right now? It really stirs me is when Olga Modem was reading his poem, it just again came to my mind, is most of us find it very irritating. In traffic, when you see a tractor coming with a big trailer, it's a very sad sight. The tractors were supposed to be in agricultural lands, fields. But they have all migrated here. And they are doing the work of carrying the debris of, the buildings which are broken down, or the soil which is being taken somebody. And you see that tractor, I am telling you, tomorrow when you see a tractor, just see, in that trailer, the entire family will be sitting there of that farmer. There will be a child, there will be a mother, there is a grandmother, there is a woman, there is a middle-aged man. The entire family will be sitting in the trailer of that tractor. That is the haunting image to me now. We are talking about smart cities, we are talking about development, but who looks at this tractor which has been migrated to this lost wasteland? So these kind of, so every image has to, it is different. It has to come from a new way of life. So moment I say I have nothing to do with life, I will sit in front of my laptop, I will write my poetry. No, that's not it. That's not it. You have to be connected with the people. I am a link in this vast web of humanity. And the plight of a man today is the thing which has to move me. See, I go to many such interactive sessions. Then usually what happens is I talk something, then people start asking questions. Generally people say like, "Sir, nanu obba kavite baritini." Somebody says, "Sir, I am a teacher, I want to say something." Somebody said, "I am a retired BDA, official, I am interested." But there will be one person who will be telling, "Actually, I am a software engineer." What is that actually? There is something is wrong there. Actually, I am a software engineer. Means I belong to something else, I belong to Mars, but I have come here to grace your culture language. No, sir, something is wrong. You see, poetry is a space where there is no rubber stamp, there is no letterhead, there is no visiting card. The poetry is a space we have discovered to outgrow this biodatas and this and that. That is the space of poetry. We can't go there and say, I am this, I am that. It's very silly. It's like somebody introducing, actually, he is my husband. See, that actually is the gray area where the poetry comes. You know snake and ladder game? Snake and ladders, we all have grown up playing it. See, our evolution till today is like a big snake and ladder game. Many snakes of, caste, creed, narrow-mindedness have, they have, beat us. But there are ladders also. There were saints, there were philosophers, there was Basavanna, there was Ambedkar, there was Gandhi, there was Vachanakaras. These are all the ladders. So there was a snake which takes us down, one ladder will take us up. Another snake bites us, another ladder will take us up. So this literature, thinking, this all has, provided us ladders all through. Now we have come up to this top point in the snake and ladder game. Now in our country, there's a huge snake is waiting there. Huge snake of dividing people in terms of caste, creed, religion. So that snake is there. If that snake bites us, we'll go back to the Stone Age within no time. So that is the thing. And right now, the poetry, the music, the art, the main thing now is to avoid that bite from that snake. So that's the space you have to go. So poetry is not just that I write it, it comes on Facebook or it comes. And the problem with Facebook is, see, there is no quality control. When I was a writer, I used to send it to the, I was in a small village in Gokarn. I write a poem, put it in a post dabba, and that post dabba looked like a god to me because it is taking my poems to Prajavani or some magazines. Then waiting for the response from the magazines. Then one day the acceptance letter will come or the rejected parcel will come. The postman coming with a rejected story looked like a Yamaduta to me. I thought he was, it was. See, there was some, I don't say, I'm not romanticizing it, but there was a quality controlling editor in magazine. He will look, he will see it is good, it is bad. No, it's not mine. Something is ringing somewhere. Or is it the way Lakshmi is reminding me, my time is up? No. So, see, now the problem is there was a quality. There was, when I wrote to Sakshi, Adiga will write back to me, this poem is good, this poem is bad, I am rejecting this is better. When I sent to Kasturi, Pave Machare will write to me. When I sent to Prajavani, J. Sadashiva will say, this is hopeless, you write more. Huh? But now the problem is see, like, there is no quality control. What I write is ultimate. And you like others because you want them to like you. So it's very sad. I have a poet friend in Sirsi. That day he called and he was sounded very sad. Jayantanna, bejaru. I said, what happened? ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಒಂದು ಪೊಯೆಟ್ರಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೆ 55 ಲೈಕ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು, ನಿನ್ನೆ 30 ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ನಂದೆ ಏನು ಕರ್ಮ ನಿಂದು? This is not the purpose of writing. You evolve as an individual in the context of a changing human world. That is the purpose of writing, not all this. That's what I was trying to tell him. So, dear friends, poetry, I said images are changing. Another image I will tell you, because it's a very striking image, how life gives us images. I mean, you don't have to look for it. You don't have to look for dictionaries. Like some people come, I like film lyrics also, so many of my fans come and tell me, sir, ನೀವು ಅಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೊಳ್ಳೆ ಶಬ್ದಗಳನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹೆಕ್ಕಿ ತರ್ತೀರಿ? From where do you get those words? I said, there's a shop near City Market. You go early morning 6:30, you'll get it. See, it has to come from the life. You cannot pick them from the cupboards. You have to be part. See, Bendre, one of the finest poets of Kannada, he said, ಯಾರಿಗೆ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆನಂದ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವನಿಗೆಲ್ಲಿ ತಿಳಿತದೆ ಕಾವ್ಯದ ರುಚಿ. He says, the man who can't enjoy the taste of a drinking water, how can he enjoy poetry? See, that is the essence of poetry. The love for life, love for the collectivity, love for the social domesticity. That is the essence of poetry. Recently, I was invited. This I have told many times, but many of you are new to me here, so I am telling. The virtual world, which is taking us away from the real life. One day I got an invitation card for a marriage. So I get invitation cards, but that was some special invitation card. It said, "Dear sir, we fell in love after listening to your song. On our engagement day also, we played your songs. Now we are getting married on this day, in this hall. Please come and bless us. We will be playing your songs again." If I knew these dangers would happen, I would not write love songs. But anyway, we went there, me and my wife, we went there. It was a small hall near Banshankari. We entered, there was a silence. There was a dead silence. Everybody was very stiff. But I could see bridegroom and bride sitting there. But silence. I thought something might have happened. It was like a Shraddhanjali Sabha, almost. So then somebody next to me sitting, I said, "What's happening? He said, "Navella Facebook friends." The problem is they are all Facebook friends, but they are not able to deal their physical proximity. They don't know what to talk. They don't know how to deal with it. Moment they go home, they will start. "You were in nice sari, food was good, you're this thing." So this is the virtual world we are living in. We don't want actual life. See, another silence which bothers me. See, any lift, people come laughing, people come talking. They enter the lift. Once they are in lift, there is a silence. That is the silence is for the death of the humanity, I think. I don't know what it is. There was a Shraddhanjali kind of silence. Absolute silence, but they'll be looking at the bags which you are carrying. That's another thing. So, see, it is taking us away from that. I am not against technology. I am not against net. It has helped us. It has given voice to so many people who are trapped in a house. So many people who are trapped in a role. That is the most wonderful thing that has happened. But let it not take us away from the real life. See, I get a message. No water for birds. Bangalore is dying. Bangalore birds are not there. So please keep a glass of water in your window. Let one sparrow live. Something like that. I send it to 100 people. He sends it to 100 people. All of us think we have done an environment-friendly activity, but none of us have kept one glass of water in the window. This is the pseudo sense of participation. Not doing anything, but we think we have done something. So these are the problems which are taking us away from life, which are making us very, very poor, very, very poor. See, all of us, most of us in India who have come from a very poor childhood, very, very poor childhood. But still, if somebody asks you what is the best part of your life, we say childhood. That is because there was sharing, there was caring. It was with a minimum luggage we were traveling. Whatever we go to stay some friend's place, use his toothbrush, use his everything. So see, that was the thing which, we had nothing, but we had everything. So now we have everything, but again silence in the lift. See, that is the thing. So idea of poetry is to keep the conscious awake, bloom, and worry about the human plight and understand man's plight today. So let the trolley tractor which comes, the tractor means, I remember another thing, I'll say that and finish my talk. See, suddenly the shift has come on body now. The libraries are going down, but gyms are going up. See, ideal society, library and gym should be of same numbers, actually there should be same. There should be library in the gym. Because library is for the brain and this is for the body. But now suddenly the mind activity has gone away. It's only physical. Fitness is required, but what is it? I mean, I tell youngsters, my friends who, I tell you, in body, 6 packs, 7 packs, 8 packs, you look like a body, man. you don't look like an individual. There is no mind there. It's a mind which is required now. That's why you say, actually, he looks like a tractor or a bike. It's like a bike or a tractor. So it is the mind which is required. It is the mind which gives us, everything in life, whatever it is. So now suddenly the mind is going to the, this thing. Everything is, body and, actual terms. Everything is in the terms of money, biodata. That's why children don't come to marriages these days. Because somebody will come and ask, like me, somebody will come there, what are you reading, what have you taken? He will say something. He says, scope enta untu, they will ask. What is the scope? That is a very terrorist question it is. What is the scope? Scope means, again, money, encashable, returns guaranteed. See, no, poetry is there for us to outgrow all this and evolve as an individual in touch with an evolving human world. So that's all I can say. Sorry if I have exceeded my limit. I thought more than reading a poem, I could share few thoughts like this. And I will finish with one image, which, how images changes, because it's poetry. You're all poetry people. So my son, maybe might have said this in my last Atta Galata also. My son was very small. So my mother had put him a black thread. Drashti agbardu, something like that. Some black thread she had put. So this fellow, and in our house, my father had passed away. My father was a rationalist. He was a thinker, and he was an atheist being in Gokarna. So he was born and brought up atheist in Gokarna. That was the power of the place, See? So we never put a garland to any photos or anything in house. So when my father passed away, there was a debate. Should we garland his photograph or not? So this thing happened, then it was not put. So this all had happened in front of my son. He was very small at that time. So that black thread he was wearing, every day when he was taking bath, it used to go. Then again, we had to put another black thread. I said, I can't afford every day one black thread for you. So do one thing, you remove it and take bath and then put it again. He said, okay. So he removed that thread and he was looking like this here and there. Then he put it on my father's photograph. I said, what are you doing? He tells me, charging it. See, it really, I was very amused by that. See, he has seen mobiles being charged, this being charged, and how the connection, how mind works. He puts his thread to my father's photo for charging. See, these are the images which are in abundance all around us, very lively and, enriching us. Let us get lost in that world. Namaskar.
I could never have dreamt that there were such goings on in the world between the covers of books. Such sandstorms and ice blasts of words, such staggering peace, such enormous laughter, such and so many blinding bright lights splashing all over the pages in a million bits and pieces, all of which were words, 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 and each of which were alive forever in its own delight and glory and oddity and light. That is a poem by Dylan Thomas. It's called Notes on the Art of Poetry. We are supposed to be the MCs, Rohini and I. My name is Deesh. I run a project in Bangalore called the Dead Poets Society, where we bring back sort of the words of great poets. And one of the things that we're going to try and do to sort of link everything together over the next 2 days, because there's such a mass of different people coming through, is talk about what poetry is. But we are running late, so we will do that later. And everyone here is here for just one person's voice and words. And Javed Akhtar Sahab is here. So without further ado, let's just hand the stage over to him. Thank you.